Hello, my friends. Let's continue our hunt for that lost inner energy. In our first video, we identified the key factors that drag down our mental state. If you remember, there were 10 of them. 1. Mental traps. 2. Emotional blocks. 3. Toxic relationships. 4. Living out of sync. 5. Spiritual disconnect. 6. Physical slumps. 7. Behavioral habits. 8. Information overload. 9. Unfinished business. 10. Environmental woes. On top of that, each of these 10 categories was broken down into at least 5 subpoints, each highlighting a real underlying cause. In this video, we're diving into mental traps, the first big block that messes with our energy. We'll break it down into its key components, including perfectionism, chasing impossible standards, endless self-talk and self-criticism, that constant inner dialogue that wears you down, micromanaging everything, trying to control every little detail, doing too many things at once, spreading yourself too thin, overthinking, getting stuck in analysis paralysis, fear of failure, holding back because you're afraid to mess up, fear of standing out, playing small to avoid attention, imposter syndrome, feeling like a fraud even when you're not, always expecting the worst, catastrophizing, assuming everything will go wrong. Let's break these down and figure out how to escape these mental traps. So, perfectionism? Perfectionism, the never-ending chase for perfect. Perfectionism might sound like a good thing at first. After all, what's wrong with wanting to do things really well? But here's the catch. Perfectionism isn't about excellence. It's about chasing an impossible standard that keeps moving further away, no matter how hard you try. Instead of feeling proud of your work, you're stuck thinking, it's still not good enough. At its core, perfectionism is driven by fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being worthy. It tricks you into believing that unless something is flawless, it has no value. The problem? Perfect doesn't exist. And the more you chase it, the more exhausted, frustrated, and stuck you feel. A story of perfectionism in action. Meet Jake. He's a talented designer full of creative ideas. One day, he gets his dream project, designing a website for a major brand. Excited, he jumps right in, sketching layouts, playing with colors, crafting pixel-perfect details. But soon, his excitement turns into overthinking. This shade of blue isn't quite right. Maybe I should try another one, or 10 more. The typography looks great, but what if someone thinks it's outdated? I should probably tweak this button's placement. Actually, should I redesign the whole page? Days turn into weeks. The deadline creeps closer, but Jake isn't satisfied. He keeps reworking, re-editing, fixing things that weren't broken. Finally, in a panic, he submits the project, late, exhausted, and still convinced it's not good enough. To his surprise, the client loves it. All those extra tweaks? They weren't even necessary. Jake's perfectionism didn't make his work better. It just made the process more stressful. Breaking free from perfectionism. If you see yourself in Jake, you're not alone. The key to overcoming perfectionism isn't lowering your standards. It's knowing when good enough is truly good enough. Some tips: set clear limits. Give yourself a deadline and stick to it. Focus on progress, not perfection. Ask yourself, is this effective? Instead of, is this flawless? Accept imperfection. Often, what we think of as flaws are things no one else even notices. Remember, done is better than perfect. Chasing perfection can feel like running a race that never ends. But when you let go of that impossible goal, you'll be amazed at how much lighter and more productive you feel. Take care of yourselves. Everything will be okay, and stay tuned for the next video.